God. Brand new racing rig from P1 Sim Sports. Triple screens, full cockpit. This thing is insane.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. It is a cloudy day, but not in the sim. We're going to get some sun. We are at KOKOMO. We have traveled far from Lucas Oil, and we are in KOKOMO. It is a great place to be. It's an awesome place to be in KOKOMO Speedway. My name is Scott Shive. I'm joined alongside by Alex Gagnon. We've got cameras provided by Dougie Beard, and we're going to have a great night here at this flat oval. Very different from where we were. This is the P1 Sim Sports Midwest Modified Series with No Limit Racing, and you can see it here from your shot. That is a lot of dirt and not a lot of infield at all, Alex.
This place is very much flat. It's wide, and it's not particularly long. It's only a quarter mile. This place. It is gonna be. It's gonna be a lot of rotation tonight. Got to make sure that car is hooked up to keep turning, because that is gonna be the majority of what you're doing here tonight. There's not a whole lot of straightaway.
No, really not a lot of straightaway. Really, really wide corners and a lot of different lane option. Obviously, we've got the tires out tonight at Kokomo, so it'll allow these drivers, the bottom can get a little treacherous like you and I were talking about in pre-race, but obviously this place opened just before the start of the NASCAR Cup Series in 1947. March, Kokomo Speedway was opened. But let's take a look at the points. It's Dustin Hennigan atop of the point standings, as you will see, 355 points, 100 points the gap to Mason Setting. And of course, those gaps can close rather quickly, so don't think that Dustin Hennigan has already run away with it, but Mason Setting has done a great job to stay in the fight. Mason Newmiller has stayed in there as well, with James Murphy and Braden Avila round out the top 5. Ryan Miller, after starting on the pole of the last race at Lucas Oil, had problems later in the going, is sitting in 7th. Jesse Lee Jr., who has won a heat race before and started up on the front row of that race, sits in 9th place. And if you remember correctly, viewers, Ryan Miller and Daryl Bass, who both sit 7th and 8th right next to each other, well, they were the pair who had that scuffle, Alex.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. They really got into each other a little bit last week. Curious to see if they settle it in a little bit here tonight, as we are going to take you trackside now for the first heat of tonight. Getting ready to go for the first heat of the evening. 8-lap heats, as always, here in the Midwest Modified Series. And there is your field getting ready to go.
So it's going to be Murphy, Boyd, Smith, and Hogan, the top 4. Then McDonald, Shanks, Tripod, and Kane, and then Shane Leggett. Nathan Tripod, a new driver with us. He hasn't raced in the first 2 races, so let's see what Nathan Tripod has for this field. He will start 7th, but it is Murphy and Boyd starting on the front row in the 05 and the 55. We've got a couple heats tonight, 8 laps as always, but we are green from Kokomo for heat race number 1.
And this is going to go by quick as everyone throws it in there. Some contact further back there. I think it was Shanks who may have got caught up a little bit in something there. He's trying to get back on his horse. You see the front end of that car damaged just a little bit. His car is shimmying up front. Big move here from Smith.
21 of Hogan ran over the left front of the 55 of Michael Boyd, trying to take that away from him. Boyd using the bottom line now, but it was the 58 of Noah Smith moving through on the both of them. A lot of drivers love that high line, but obviously Michael Boyd staying and ruling with the bottom.
Yeah, and he seems to be making a little bit of headway now, falling back, did not get a great exit, trying to hold on to the inside lane here. He's got Leggett there with him, but everyone up high is just making much better time right now. Noah Smith, who has worked his way up to 2nd here and is starting to put some separation back to the cars behind him.
Separation being made 2 seconds to the leader of Connor Murphy for Noah Smith. And it is only just 3 laps to go this time by for the 05. He's done fairly well, fairly handy for the man in the 05. And let's see if he can continue it on tonight. But here we go. 21 trying to hold off the 7 of Dalton Kane, and that is the spot for the transfer position.
Yeah, Hogan trying to hold on to that spot right now. Easier said than done. Is Dalton Kane going to work the high side here? The 7 throws it in there to 3. He's got that spot now with 2 to go. Now the white flag is out.
Good job. Good job for Kane, who started 7th on this heat race at the very beginning. He will set himself in a transfer position. But it will be Connor Murphy taking the win in the 05 by a dominating margin for an 8-lap stretch. 2 seconds the gap back to 2nd place. Noah Smith and Dalton Kane will also transfer in. But it was Connor Murphy, pretty much, I mean, how do you say it? Dominating heat race number 1.
Yeah, he looked absolutely stellar. Caught a bit of open racetrack and just ran away with it after that. Was a great start to the night here for Connor Murphy. Got to give him a lot of confidence, I think, going into the feature tonight, knowing he's been that fast here in the opening.
Definitely. You got to say that he's confident, and obviously gained 11 spots. He obviously didn't start our first race that we had back at Cedar Lake. So with only one race completed, he is sitting in 17th in the points at the moment, 281 back to your leader of Dustin Hennigan. So looking to gain some points here this evening from Kokomo. All right, let's go through your grid for heat race number 2. It's Dan McLeod starting up front on the front row in pole position. Then it's Cameron Stefanski sitting in second. Then it's Joseph McIntyre Jr. and Dusty Lee Jr.'s. It's a junior all second row. Then James Murphy, who currently sits 4th in points, and Jaden Freeberger, row 3. Then it's Landon Falkenberg, Ricky Thompson, and then it is the 3 of Mason Setting sitting on that final spot in 9th place, who is currently 2nd overall in the championship standings. Mason Setting is going to have a lot of work to do, Alex.
Yeah, that he is. We are going to get rolling here for heat number 2. It's underway just like the first one. It is 8 laps. McIntyre works his way out front here in the early going with Murphy. And they're going to go at it here on the inside. A little bit of contact off of 2. They are 4 wide coming off of 4.
Murphy pulls a slider, but now it's a 44 on the bottom as wow, Dusty Lee Jr. going to get turned up into the wall. He's going to be able to save it, but there is a wreck as well behind, and the caution will come out.
That was Landon Falkenberg, who I think fully went around there. Let's take a look here at the replay, see if we can figure out what happened.
It was a slider at the start by the 88, and it is the 2 car up on the high line. And I believe that, who is that? I think it was, oh goodness, I got to find who it is, who that 2 car is. You'll be able to see it right here. You see him.
32 is Stefanski.
I was going to say, I couldn't see if it was the 2 or the 32. I was looking for that number. A little different on the paint scheme than it is in his iRacing registration, but you can see Stefanski right here gets slid by the 88 and then doesn't really give it up. So, I mean, to be fair, Stefanski really kind of held his own.
Yeah, not much you can really do there. Bent up roll bar here for a couple cars, and that's going to put him in a bit of a tough spot here as we get back to getting ready to rock and roll. Everyone's still on the racetrack, but a couple of cars who have been really kind of battered here in the opening couple laps, and that is going to cycle through a few people, as I do believe. We're still going to find James Murphy up at the front, but everyone from about Stefanski on back, Dusty Lee, I mean, you see the 88 there. These 2 got into it just a moment ago. They'll be going back at it next time around here.
Yeah, and as well, McLeod, who started up front, is starting from 8th spot. So really not a good start. Needed the caution to come out there to maybe make some ground back up.
Yeah,
So as the field resets, they'll try to all get as high as they can, looking for the restart. Some of them starting to jump it just a little bit. They weren't quite green, but some were going, and we're almost 4 wide heading into 1. But it is James Murphy with a great jump.
Yeah, Murphy got a really good jump. Freeberger in the middle of this 3-wide scenario. Everyone trying to work the high side for McIntyre. Freeberg's got it for now. Now it's McIntyre to the inside. Going to try to take a look. Nothing quite going. Everyone fighting for that transfer spot with coming the 4 to go.
You saw he got slid by the 35 of Freeberger. Tried to cross back over, but wasn't close enough to pull the slider. But look at Mason Setting. He gets a tap from the 44. He's down there on the bottom. He started back from the last spot. He's going to make contact with Dusty Lee Jr. He spins up into the 41 of Dan McLeod. Cautions out once more, and he's stuck.
Take another look at this as we're going to the NLR replay. The 3 of Mason Setting, contact with Dusty Lee, works his way backwards right into Dan McLeod. McLeod gets beached on top of the wall here. Devastating for both Setting and McLeod. And for Setting,
I was getting ready to sing the praises of the 3.
Yeah, and that quickly changed a turn of fortune there.
Well, and when we get the green, it will only be 3 to go. So unless Setting has some sort of miraculous restart or others have a problem, he might have to go to the LCQ, and we're not even accounting for what damage he might have in that dirt UMP. It shows you, Alex, as well, how sliders really have to be calculated. It's especially when you see it in real life and in some of the top forms of dirt racing. that it is really, you can't just always throw it in there. You got to know if you're going to be clear by the end or, and if you're not, being able to check up with it. But only 3 laps to go. Let's see if Mason Setting can get back to it, but it is James Murphy who has led them all.
Yeah, Murphy's been pretty in control of this heat to this point. Freeberger now settling in the second. Dusty Lee, Joseph McIntyre Jr. both going at it for the 3rd spot. That's the battle for the transfer with 2 to go. And that looks like a big slide from the 44, and Lee's going to take the inside spot. Has that position for now.
McIntyre had to try something. I will say, though, race control probably watching the 88, making sure he's not using the wall too much. They really, really take account for that if drivers use that right rear quarter panel to help the car turn. But it's the white flag and only half a lap left for the 65 of James Murphy, trying to continue to close in on the points lead to the top spot. But he's got to make it through the heat, and he will win.
Yeah, Murphy, Freeberger, and Dusty Lee, your top 3 unofficially. And the checkered is out here for heat number 2. And a tale of 2 very different heats through the first 2 here at Kokomo here tonight, Scott.
Yeah, really. I mean, that second heat, that was quite wild.
Yeah, compared to the first one where Murphy kind of got out there and just drove away. Pretty sure we're 2 for 2 on Murphy's winning the heats, though, tonight.
I was going to say, that's a great statistic. That's great. I wonder if they're related.
And we'll have to certainly ask him if we have the opportunity to catch up with him later.
I was going to say,
tonight.
I think we need to.
Yeah, it feels like
I'm
Oh, go ahead.
It feels like we should know.
Yeah,
I don't think either of them have finished on the podium yet.
Not that I'm aware of, but maybe tonight's the night, especially because they've both been pretty decent. They're both in the top 20 in points. I believe it's James who's in the top 5 or top 7 of the points, as they say.
He is top 5.
So we're getting ready for heat number 3. Going to be Ethan Patterson with Braden Avila here in the front row. Avila coming off a great race last week at Lucas Oil. Last week's winner, Dustin Hennigan, along with the 75 of Joshua Colburn. Nicholas Moley in 5th, Dakota Proud. Kyle Davis and Daryl Bass in this group. A lot of folks that we saw at the front of the field last week in this heat here in heat number 3 tonight. This should be a fun one.
It's absolutely going to be a fun one to get to see a lot of these drivers and see how it all settles out. You spoke of some of their names. Braden Avila having a great race. Well, he really started off with an amazing race, but had to recover quite a couple times, and eventually finished 5th in the overall race. But here we go. Green flag in the air for Patterson.
And he immediately found a bit of dirt that did not handle the car well. He got passed on the outside by Braden Avila and to the inside by Dustin Hennigan. And 2 of the podium finishers last week, including the race winner, already 1-2. Is now Patterson trying to hold off Colburn for the 3rd spot. Daryl Bass in the mix as well.
Yeah, Patterson, if you remember, had a great start to his race, but did not end it too well. And he's going to get tangled up again. Patterson nearly sideways in mid-pack of the field, able to save it, though, but Patterson falling quickly.
Yeah, that was a very dicey situation there for the 13. Able to keep it pointed in the right direction. Lost a ton of track position as they're trying to work their way back to the front here. He's just having a tough start here after that bit of contact. The car does not want to really launch off the way he's hoping. Go to Proud.
Try and hold off the
Bass.
2 of Nicholas Moy. You said great battle right here between them 2.
Yeah, they're going at it for 4th. However, they got to stop battling each other if they're going to try to get up to Colburn for that transfer spot. 75 starting to slip away just a little bit.
Yeah, still not too far. It's half a second up to the 75, who just made a mistake in 3 and 4. They're really going to close them in, but it's Daryl Bass who solidifies himself above the 14 of Dakota Proud. Now looks to the inside of the 75 of Colburn.
You see, really slid it in there into the corner.
Oh! You saw it. Massive contact. That slider, we talked about prepping the sliders, and Daryl Bass just kind of slowed up and checked up right in front of the 75, and the 75 gave him a shot. And here he goes. Slider for the 75, but Daryl Bass turns back under it.
Yeah, and this is going to come to the checkered, so Braden Avila is going to be the winner of this heat. Dustin Hennigan going to advance as well, and then Daryl Bass by about quarter second or so will be the remaining one. Is a little bit of extracurriculars here between Colburn and Bass. I don't think the 75 too thrilled with the way the 90 raced him there.
Wow. They're going at it a little bit over the radio. They are not happy with each other, especially Joshua Colburn.
It's been a tough start to the year for the 75. Had a decent run last week after he got crashed out very early at the season opener over at Cedar Lake. So I have a feeling this was not in the way he was looking to start tonight. But either way, man, that was we had some fireworks in the second heat just for some wrecks. That one was some fireworks with just some daring moves, dare I say.
Yeah, absolutely. And Colburn finished last on the field at our last race at Lucas Oil after failing post-race tech. So Colburn did not get a ton of points from the last event. And so that will hurt him overall in the overall standings. And so he'll try to recover from that, but he's going to have to go to the LCQ to try to figure it out. That was also the first time that Dustin Hennigan within his heat race did not win.
Yeah. First thing I don't think he's won this season. So we're getting ready.
I think so as well.
I think this is our first LCQ of the night. We've seen all these folks before, so I believe similar deal. Top several will advance to the main event, but we'll give you a quick rundown through this field. We can get a camera angle.
Yeah, we had 27 drivers show up on the night, so only 7 will not make the overall feature show, but it's Hogan and Colburn in the front row, and then it's Falkenberg and Boyd. Green flag is out, 12 laps lie ahead, and only 1 will transfer in. Or excuse me, it's not just 1. There's more than 1. I'll get you the number in a minute, but Hogan holds the lead.
Yeah, Hogan in control of this race right now. You got Falkenberg trying to hold off Patterson. A little bit of battling a little further on back as Boyd trying to hold off Julian Shanks as they go. Everyone, though, kind of settling in nicely here in the opening couple laps. You have a little bit more time to plan your moves as heavy contact between Boyd and Falkenberg there down the front straightaway.
Yeah, Boyd really got up high out of turn number 2 on that one. And wow, look at it, nearly 3 wide right here. Dan McLeod trying to get in the mix as well.
But I think Julian Shanks had some issues there. Take a quick look at the replay if we can.
See Shanks in that orange and green machine. Yep, just gets a little tap, and I think that was from the 17 of Davis. Yes, it was.
So the two of them are getting queued back up here. The yellow did come out for the first time here in this LCQ. Up front, it's still Kaylor Hogan, who looks to be, at least in that opening couple laps, very in control of this LCQ. Patterson and Boyd. Boyd, he was getting fairly physical there with Falkenberg just before the flag. Curious to see how these two are going to race each other in the back half of this LCQ.
Yeah, so I think I'm trying to look at the numbers. We've advanced in 9 so far, and we obviously will start 20. I think we'll start 21, so I think 6 will advance from this heat race and the next. So, excuse me, heat race, LCQ. So only 1 will not make it out of this LCQ.
Well, it makes the context of what you're looking for pretty straightforward. The goal not to be at the tail end of the field here in this LCQ. So right now, Kyle Davis, Julian Shanks in that unfavorable position trying to stay out of the back of the field. Up front, though, definitely want to affect your starting spot in a positive way here for the feature. So going for it right now, it's Hogan and Patterson. Next time around, they'll be taking the green flag.
Yeah, Patterson having a little bit better go of it than in the heat race, but can Patterson hold it up front? From here, it will be like a straight heat race. Only 8 remaining. Green flag, back out.
And here we go into the corner. Patterson.
Oh!
Oh, and the yellow already. No, wait, the green is out. Kaylor Hogan just lost the entire field of track position. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, and the yellow back out again.
False restart. I think it was a false restart because they went at the exit of turn 2 and down the back straightaway as the green flag, and I think they jumped the gun.
I think you might be right. We'll take another look here. on the replay, but I think you are spot on.
Because I looked at it, I was like, this is not the front straightaway. I was like, this is weird. Something is wrong.
So we'll jump on board here with the 21. This is them coming off of 4 with a turn to go. You see the truck was there coming off of 2. And then as they make their way here through what is turns 1 and 2, you see the stand in the background. Yeah, they get going here coming off of 2. That ain't what they were looking to do. And you see it looks like the front row stacked up when they realized they were in the wrong spot, but everyone else kind of just drove right on by. That's a tough break.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I think the 21 got the EOL for that. So I think Hogan will go to the end of the line for initiating the restart, I believe too early.
And that's tough because with that clean air, he was looking in good shape. He was pulling away just a little bit before the first caution.
Puts him in the only spot out position, and all of that cushion and comfort that he had at the very start is all now gone.
So here we go again on the lap 6. It's going to be Patterson who's got control of this thing up at the front. Falkenberg McLeod with a good run. He's up into the mix as well and just caught the wall a little bit there. I think he actually just blinked out after that. Oh, big wreck in the back of the field. Falkenberg and Shanks around. I think Boyd got caught up in it too.
It started with Shanks and Falkenberg. They were getting a little dicey down the front stretch wall, excuse me. Yeah, you can see it right there. It all begins, and then down comes the 1 and gets into the 44, and they get to each other. And I think it was the 17 of Davis who kind of lifted up the rears of the 44. Watch it again.
On board here with Michael Boyd.
Yeah, oh, Boyd took a big hit to that left front in the 55. So the 1, showing a little displeasure to the 44 of Shanks. Again, I don't think race control will like that too much, but again, the 1 not doing anything crazy, but oh my. And really, I mean, I don't think that was Julian Shanks' fault. I mean, really, because the 17 of Davis really started to lift his rears, and Shanks had no more control.
Yeah, that's I think a classic case of just not. You want to be mad at someone and you know who was part of it, but maybe not the first person to kick it off. So up at the front, it'll be Patterson again with Davis and Hogan, who's now cycled back up the third. A fortunate break for the 21 after his EOL earlier on. And now Davis getting way up there, trying to work the wall, clipped it just a little bit. He is trying to work every bit of this racetrack that he can right now, despite the flat banking.
Yeah, and Michael Boyd, I'm looking at this, he's being scored the leader, but I can assure you that he is not the leader. So Kyle Davis on the outside in the 17, currently the leader. Patterson challenging for second, but Michael Boyd not in the current lead position.
Yeah, Davis now around the outside. He's got the 13 there with him. Looks like Kyle Davis, though, starting to put a little bit of separation. Got a piece of the wall there off of 4. Here goes Hogan for that spot with 3 laps to go.
Hogan challenging for second after getting the EOL earlier on the missed restart. He went from first back to last place in 7th. Also good to note, Dan McLeod is out of this race, so everyone that is now on track will transfer. Now, that does not account for Michael Boyd, who is currently, it's stated in the lead, but we know he is not in the lead. We'll see if race control might give him a penalty because of that, or if they're going to just tack him on at the tail of the field. White flag in the air for the 17 of Kyle Davis. Patterson tries for it. It's not going to be enough. It's the 17 of Davis. Takes the checkered flag and wins LCQ number 1.
Yeah, Patterson, Hogan, close runners up there. Davis only held off Patterson by less than 0.2 of a second. And we'll see what comes out of it there with Michael Boyd. That was interesting to say the least. I was wondering if it was at first if it was my ATVO who was being a little uncooperative, but I realize now I don't think that was the case.
Yeah,
So,
I was thinking that as well. I was like, why is Michael Boyd scored up front? And through the squabble, must have accidentally drove around one extra lap. So I imagine race control must have just cleared his black flag and said, we're going to tack you on at the end.
So here we go.
That is all that I can imagine.
Yeah, no, I would be inclined to agree with this. We're getting ready for LCQ number 2. And ignore the top 2 advance. I think it's, I'm just going to replace that with most.
There we go. Well, I think it's going to be 6. So not as many free spots in the second LCQ, because 9 drivers will be starting in their dirt UMPs, and one of those being Mason Setting, who is starting at the back once again.
Yeah, Mason Setting has his work cut out for him here, starting in the 9th spot. We know he's got some speed. We know that to be the case for actually several of these folks. Just, you know, a lot of these guys were people who got caught up in either the 2nd or 3rd heat incidents. So it's going to be McIntyre and Tripod on the front row, Proud and Stefanski, Leggett and Moley, Thompson and McDonald, Mason Setting the 9 to keep an eye on here as we get going here in the second LCQ. McIntyre going to lead him into 1.
McIntyre on the high side in the 44, and then it's the 14 of Dakota Proud, and don't count out the 42 of Nathan Tripod. It is that bright lime green 42. Let's see what he has got, making his debut in the P1 Sim Sports Midwest Modified Series. And let's not also think about Nicholas Moley. Moley was not at the race last week at Lucas Oil, but wants to make sure to be in this race at Kokomo.
Yeah, he was a feature driver at Cedar Lake 2 weeks ago. Had a tough run there, trying to get back on the horse, as it were, here tonight. He's got his work cut out for him, though, as he's currently bouncing right around that transfer spot with the Mason Setting machine. As this thing is starting to get a little dicey at the transfer spot. 4 wide coming off the corner a second ago. Check that out. That was pretty wild.
Man, Mason Setting really one of the only drivers really making the bottom work. He's one of the only drivers going down there, and he's really making a position, especially here through 3 and 4. It's a great run for the 3, just trying to solidify himself into a solid transfer position, currently in 5th. But look at this battle for the lead. Nathan Tripod looking for it down low as Mason Setting taps the tire.
Oh, in contact with Stefanski and Tripod. Proud caught up in it as well. That's going to bring out the yellow. Looks like Leggett gets caught up as well. More contact between the two. Man, it just goes to show how quickly things can turn. You're running for second, you're going for the lead, and just like that, all of a sudden we are under the yellow. That car absolutely battered.
Yeah, man, tough. I mean, and the 42 was really starting to make a run. I mean, Stefanski just threw it on in there, and it was not like there was a gap, and then, wow, another driver came on in.
Like one more look here from the old chopper cam. A little bit of contact into 3, and then heavier contact there. And
Dakota Proud got some of that, and then it was Cody McDonald in the 28 who came flying in and made extra contact with the 42 of Nathan Tripod.
I'll take one more look here on board with McDonald. He was pretty well behind this, and then he gets caught up in it really just as it's all kind of unfolding here into turn 3, because he had more or less lost this pack, and as he's trying to get down in the round, Tripod just launched. Yeah,
I think that was Shane Leggett.
Yeah,
so,
actually, sorry,
it was the two white and green cars. It was Shane Leggett that came in to make contact, but we are now back under green, and look at it. It is Mason Setting from last, battling for first with the 44 of McIntyre. McIntyre will try to pull momentum off the top side, but it is Setting. Wow, what domination. There's a reason that he is sitting second in the points, but McIntyre, he knows he's got some time left.
Yeah, and he's going for it. Got the lead back on a nice move there, going through 1 and 2, Setting back to the inside in 3 and 4. We've got ourselves a real duel on our hands for the lead. 3 laps to go, Setting down low, McIntyre up high this time around.
It was a beautiful, beautiful slide for the 44 of McIntyre. Just parked the rear right on the nose of the 3 of Setting. But Setting, look at him work that low line. No one can do it like him. And look at Nicholas Moley in that bright and orange number 2. Moley has come to play.
Yeah, he's in there. Same with Ricky Thompson, who's really come onto the scene late here. White flag in the air. Battle on for third, fourth, and fifth. Looks like Setting's going to hold on for the win, but we've got ourselves a lot of positions up for grab into the final set of corners.
Setting from last to first. He will do it and win LCQ number 2. And it is Cameron Stefanski filling in that final transfer spot in 6th place. And it is the 42 of Nathan Tripod just barely missing out.
That was a very, very fun LCQ, let me tell you. A lot of action that unfolded there as we get ready for our third and final LCQ of the night, I believe. No, these are all people who advanced. Nope, this is the warm-up session.
This is the warm-up.
This is our feature has been set. Scott, you were dead on the money, and I misspoke, so apologize for that. But we're going to step aside.
Hey, I've misspoken a couple of times tonight.
We're going to step aside for a brief commercial break. When we come back, the feature from KOKOMO Speedway. You're not going to want to miss it.
Yo,
Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Yo, you won't believe what I got. Brand new racing rig from P1 Sim Sports. Triple screens, full cockpit. This thing is insane.
You saw a lot of excitement, a lot of action in the first heat races and LCQ. But now it is time for the feature, and drivers have gotten set. We've sent a few of them home, but it's 40 laps, as always, in this feature. I know I got a little wrong when we were talking about Lucas Oil. I was like, hey, it's 50 laps, and it was not. It's 40, and it's always 40. And we have yet to mention the money on the line. As you know, for the past 2 weeks, $25 to win, 15 for second, and 10 for third, with big prizes overall come championship's end. Again, this race always open setup with obviously the rule book by the Midwest Modified Series, brought to you by P1 Sim Sports. And I want to get a second to shout out all the sponsors here from the Midwest Modified Series. That's No Coast Customs, Colburn Race Wraps, Infamous Raceworks, and Featherston Welding and Fabrication. And I think we've got a new one as well with KD Speed Shots. So we couldn't do it with all of our amazing partners. Go check them out. If you're in the Discord for No Limit Racing, you'll see them all down at the sponsor list. And if you are not, join the Discord. It's out there somewhere. Look, with No Limit Racing, I imagine you can contact these guys, or in the YouTube chat or anything. You can contact Dana Burdick and send you correctly in the right direction. But now that's all out of the way, Alex, and let's get on to this feature race. 21 drivers have set to take the green flag, and it is an all Murphy front row, the 05 and the 65. Connor Murphy starting in pole, and James Murphy starting in second. And hey, if they finish this way, we'll definitely get to ask them if they're related. Then it's Braden Avila, Noah Smith in row number 2. Row 3, 35 of Jaden Freeberger with the 16 of Dustin Hennigan, your 2-time winner. Row number 4, it's Dalton Kane and Dusty Lee Jr. Then row 5, running at the top 10, the 90 of Daryl Bass and 55 of Michael Boyd.
Yeah, looking back to the back half of the field here, it's going to be Mason Setting in the 3 with Kyle Davis in the 17. The 44, Joseph McIntyre, Ethan Patterson, Nicholas Moley, and Kaylor Hogan make up row number 8. Cody McDonald, Julian Shanks, Ricky Thompson, Landon Falkenberg, and Cameron Stefanski is your field as we are racing for 40 laps here at Kokomo. Feature time here on Tuesday night.
40 laps, and it is Connor Murphy getting the jump, but it's James Murphy getting the overall jump and taking the lead away from the 25. But here, look as well for the 05, moving to the outside now, trying to follow along with James Murphy in the 65. All the while, it's 3 wide, and it's caution out already. We were nearing 4 wide there for a second, right before the caution came out. I believe, I want to say, oh yeah. I want to say this, yeah, it started with Stefanski and Thompson. So let's watch along here. You can see, oh, there was an initial spin. Stefanski gets into the 24 later on, as that was a single car spin that we saw right there. And there we go. There's the contact between those two. And yeah, they all stay straight until the 2 tags the 24 of Ricky Thompson later through the corner. So Stefanski, that's 2 incidents in a row in the LCQ and now in the feature.
Yeah, and Ricky Thompson, I'm sure, not going to be thrilled about that one. Survived the initial contact, got hit again. That's what sent him around. That's what brings out the yellow here for the first time tonight. So a tough start here in the back of the field.
Was the car that went around.
And Mason Setting currently on the racetrack, but is scored 1 lap down.
Oh, I know what it was. It looked like he was having connection issues because he did not make the green, but he is now in. And so it looked like he gridded in to the session right after they took the green. So, I mean, that was a huge break for the 3.
Yeah, he's still scored 1 lap down, but it's at least going to put him in a much better spot.
Because, again, this is your driver currently second in points. So it's really, really important that he gain as many as possible. But right now, he will be able to gain none, as he is the only driver 1 lap down. So, that's all dusted and settled. Green flag back in the air for James Murphy. And it's going to be a tap for the 7 as well as the 35 of Freeberger. He gets Dusty Lee Jr. and somehow everybody stays straight. Wow. Patterson gets into the 44 as well. Wow, I couldn't believe that, Alex.
What a save from Dustin Hennigan. The two-time winner this year, showcasing some skill on the defensive side there, got tagged off at 2. Found a way to somehow not only keep that car pointed straight, but also kept it off the wall. Is Michael Boyd around at the back of the field? He's got some cars collected with him, although I think the 55 had some help.
Yeah, that's the 55. That was the 21 as well as Kaylor Hogan. And
he caught the tire.
Michael Boyd. Oh, man.
Take another look at this. This is your worst fear as a driver, especially at a place here like Kokomo. Try to work the inside.
And that is a big hit. And you saw Julian Shanks and the 21 of Kaylor Hogan right next to each other doing battle. And then there was the 55 broadside right in the middle of the track. Oh, Setting almost getting involved in that as well.
Tell you what, Kaylor Hogan's lucky that car didn't roll on him. It got really close here.
Yeah,
never mind.
Yeah,
it
going
did.
back to grid.
That.
Oh yeah.
So.
He spoke a little soon there, Alex.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to be all right at first. I didn't realize he had rolled after the fact. So Hogan going to be scored a lap down as well. So it's been a tough start here for the opening couple laps. Only 5 down here, but right now at the front, we've got the 65 once again, James Murphy up there with Braden Avila, and this is going to bring us back to the green once again.
So Avila, who finished second last race, I said 5th earlier, but he's 5th overall in the standings. He finished second to Dustin Hennigan, but he is currently running second in this race to James Murphy. Hennigan just inside the top 5. But it is also the 05 of Connor Murphy falling a little bit in the 05.
Yeah, the 05 of Connor Murphy now back down to the 4th spot, make it 5th as he's battling with Hennigan. More battling happening here, 4 wide off the corner. Freeberger almost ran out of room as he's working up the high side here.
Oh, got in the back of McIntyre Jr. right there. Look at Cody McDonald down to the bottom. Actually, he's in the middle because Dusty Lee Jr., he's down to the bottom, and all in front of it is Nicholas Moley.
Yeah, there is a lot happening in the mid-pack right now. Very tough to find any sort of clean room to race right now, just with how congested it was as the yellow back out. And, that doesn't look quite right there for Ricky Thompson. I believe that's Mason Setting as the two of them have gotten together here.
Man, looks like a possible very similar situation. That's where we saw the 55 of Michael Boyd parked after getting the tire. And let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It looks like the 3 gave a little bit of a nudge to the 24. And, that's a little extracurricular right there. But I think it was the 24 getting the nudge from the 3 that eventually turned him right into the tire. I think he was already going to cut it close anyway, but that nudge definitely didn't help.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating.
Race control is going to look at this.
Yeah, that's that's how dirt UMP modifieds are born right there.
I was going to say.
But,
take another look at the inside here. Mason Setting in the 3, Ricky Thompson in the 24. This next time by, you can see Patterson in the 13 there on the outside. But just a little tap just puts the 24 right out of place.
So we'll come back to the live look here as we're getting just about ready to go once again. It's going to be...
Look at Daniel Bath. Up 6 spots from the start of this race. Looking for a podium.
Yeah, he's in a good spot now. He looked pretty fast last week at Lucas Oil, too, until him and Ryan Miller got tangled up in the middle of that one. Curious to see if he's going to find some better fortunes here tonight. He's restarting really alongside last week's winner in Dustin Hennigan. Hennigan's looked fast, but not as fast as we've seen him the first 2 weeks here tonight. It seems like it really could be an opportunity for someone else to be the second name in the win column here if they keep this up. Hennigan, though, very much not out of it yet because he is still right there as the green flag flies.
Well, and let's think about it. The first 2 legs with Cedar Lake and Lucas Oil, very banked. This track at Kokomo, very flat. Leader in the wall, 65 of James Murphy. It's nearly 4 wide for the lead. Hennigan is trying to take advantage of the mistake from the leader. Same with Braden Avila and Daryl Bass. Look at him on the bottom side of the 90.
Yeah, a lot going on there on the restart. Everyone trying to settle in. Murphy has rallied back to the front, somehow cycled back out in the front of this group of Vila, Hennigan, Bass, now your top 4. As the yellow back out, as Nicholas Moley and Ethan Patterson collected.
Nicholas Moley, Ethan Patterson. Moley was running inside the top 10. Oh, and it looks like Patterson just comes in a little hot and heavy. And then it was a third car to get involved. I think that was Julian Shanks. We'll see right outside, an outside perspective with the 13. And yeah, just, I don't know. I don't know if he was there yet to say that he had a lane. You could obviously see that Nicholas Moley was kind of cutting down on the bottom lane, trying to go for that inside line. I just don't think the two knew that the 13 was trying to look for that hole. But again, I also don't think that hole was quite yet open.
Yeah, I have a feeling you might be right. That does feel like that was the case. Turn 3 and 4 proven to be particularly treacherous here tonight in the feature race. Already a couple of cars who have gotten stacked up there. And it's made for a very, very interesting start to this race where there's a lot of cars who are already either off the racetrack or at least off the lead lap. And right now, we've only got 13 cars still scored on this lead lap. We started with 21 or so here tonight, or maybe started with 20. So it's we're very quickly running out of cars here in this field. Got to imagine that's beneficial to the folks at the front, that they continue to see all this chaos happening behind them and not where they're at.
Well, and they would love to get some laps in. We're only 12 laps completed. Again, only green flag laps count, so no laps under caution count. And I also wanted to say about Mason Setting, he's now 4 laps down in 18th, so he's going to lose a lot of points if he finishes there. But again, still 28 laps remaining to run, and look at Hennigan, brings it all the way to the bottom. Big slide on Murphy, but Murphy pulls right on through. But Hennigan is a lot closer than he was, Alex.
Yeah, that was a great move from the 16 to put himself in position. Trying to get to the front really for the first time today. And Murphy holding him off so far. As Daryl Bass is getting some separation from Avia, and then, you know, you start seeing some 2 and 3 wide battling here through the mid-pack. That, I believe, all the way up there a second ago was Connor Murphy in the 05, who's really had some struggles here. He's fallen back from the front row to 10th, and they're 3 wide behind him.
3 wide, Kyle Davis up on the high side, trying to move on through this to Stefanski and Moley. Moley and Davis gonna make contact. Stefanski loses the right front as he breaks the barrier into turn number 1. That is day over for Stefanski.
Take another look here on the NLR replay. Stefanski and Davis get together right at the exit of the racetrack. Oh, man, that is brutal. For this next replay, you may avert your eyes if you get nauseous easily, because this is gonna get gnarly here.
Yeah, right along here with Stefanski. Oh my goodness! I don't even think that right along does it justice.
No, I don't think it does either. We'll try one more time here.
All right, well, we get to see the hands of the driver here in the gyro cam, but Stefanski kind of comes up on the 17 of Davis and just gets turned up right in the wrong spot. And honestly, again, I think that's my assessment. I really think Stefanski kind of comes up here. You can see it's going to be 3 wide with Moley on the bottom, Davis on the high side in the 17. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, there's nowhere
the minute
there
they
for
make
Davis
contact,
to go.
then they're stuck together.
Yeah, one last look at it here. I mean, the 17 really has nowhere to go here off of 4. He's already up at the fence, and Stefanski.
And he was there. I mean,
yeah,
he put his car in the right position.
Yeah, Stefanski got up there, I think, because he knew Moley was to the inside. But here we go again, racing at Kokomo just before the halfway point of tonight's feature as Bass gets into it with Avila a little bit.
No, not again. Not again for the 90 of Daryl Bass. He somehow saves it. Now he might get put in the wall here by the 25. 25 of Avila. Not happy with Daryl Bass at all. I wouldn't be either.
Yeah, this is getting physical out here as we're just before this halfway point. Avila settling into the 4th spot. Bass trapped in a 4 wide off the corner. That barely worked out. Man, oh man, it is getting dicey through here. Everyone fighting for these positions. No one really able to build a big run. And everyone's getting stacked up as Moley working the inside.
I didn't know Kokomo was going to be the state and place of the World Championship Brawl match.
Yeah, really. Putting the World Heavyweight title up for grabs right now for about 8th on back is Cody McDonald trying to work the high side. Easier said than done, though, with how physical it's been here through the midfield.
A heavyweight being 3,000 pounds.
Yeah.
The heavyweight title of each of these machines. So Daryl Bass will fall down to 6th place after the contact between him and the 25 of Avila. Looks like the 7 of Dalton Kane had a little bit of a problem in front of him, was in the wall in turns 2. But it is the top 2 that have really gotten away. Murphy and Hennigan, 2.2 seconds out from the 35 of Freeburger.
Yeah, they've really opened it up. Murphy has been dominant so far here tonight, but not entirely invulnerable. As you see Hennigan right there in the tire tracks. We'll throw the battle for the lead there at the moment. It's really shrunk down over these past couple laps. Hennigan continues to apply some pressure here to the 65 as they are putting on a lot of distance here from Freeburger in 3rd, who's kind of in his own little island right now as he's a second clear of Braden Avila.
Yeah, Braden Avila, 0.7 of a second back, but he is then 2.3 seconds clear of the 90 of Daryl Bass, who has now brought himself back into the top 5. And that all started the field. All of this spread out happened by a slider by the 90 of Daryl Bass on the nose of the 25 of Avila. And really, I mean, the hole wasn't there for the 90, and Avila was going to have none of it.
And Avila's starting to put a little bit of pressure here on the 35 of Freeburger for that 3rd spot. Daryl Bass now up to 5th as he's worked past Dalton Kane. Nick Moley going to make his way up to 7th there in this battle with McDonald. Yeah, this is getting fascinating in this group as Murphy just pulled out a pretty decent gap here to Hennigan a moment ago. I think Hennigan had a moment off of 3 and 4, starting to open up that gap a little bit as the battle is on now for 3rd. Avila is to the back bumper of Jaden Freeburger.
Avila is here, and we haven't even talked about lap traffic yet. It's the first time we've encountered it here today. Julian Shanks down on the bottom of this battle for 3rd place. 35 is Jaden Freeburger. 25, Braden Avila. Nowhere to go for Avila with that lap car on the bottom. Now they're clear of Julian Shanks. A little bit more room to roll for the 25.
As Hennigan's going to try to work on the outside here through lap traffic, he might have the lead off of turn 4. Less than 10 laps to go. Oh, here we go.
Gives him a tap. Oh, and there we go. Through lap traffic, James Murphy gets a little caught up with it, and Hennigan able to slide through on the outside. That was the 44 of McIntyre Jr. They both just got past. Now, here's the 13 of Ethan Patterson. He's going to be in the way now, but look at Murphy. He is so strong here at Kokomo, but it's Dustin Hennigan, 2-time winner, finding a way to defend. He has got 7 laps left. Can he defend from this strong and dominant 65? He'll slide this lap car of the 13, but here comes another run by Murphy.
Oh,
and there we go.
contact.
And he gets caught up with the lap car. Oh, my goodness. Murphy's going around to the front straightaway right in front of the flag stand.
The leaders both taken out in lap traffic, Hennigan and Connor Murphy. Or sorry, James Murphy. James Murphy and Dustin Hennigan both with contact here. Let's take a look at the replay. This was absolutely unbelievable a moment ago. I'm trying to find an ATVO completely shuffled on me.
Gosh.
Here we go. Yeah, so
I cannot believe it.
This starts with the 16 of Hennigan. He's trying to make the move here on Patterson, and the two of them make contact right there.
He gets stuck and yep.
And then off of 4. Oh, boy. That is absolutely brutal for the two guys who had been by far the fastest in the field here tonight.
Yeah, and you know, Hennigan got a little messed up there by the 13. See, I think in this point, you got to choose a lane if you're the 13, and not that he was all over the place, but clearly the leaders that are right next to each other are battling, and they're coming up on you, and you're going to go a lap down, especially like this, and he gets slid a little bit there, and I don't know. I say that from here, and I think it's a hard position to be in as the 13, but obviously both the leaders just made contact with you.
Yeah, that's certainly not something that I'm sure he wanted to do either, but at the end of the day, completely changed the complexion of this race with only a couple laps to go. So up at the front now, it's going to be Braden Avila, who suddenly has just stumbled into an absolutely fantastic position as he gets hit with Freeberger there off of the corner on the restart. Oh my goodness, this is going right back under yellow. Because they, I think they were throwing the yellow for the restart here. Take one more
Who
look
knew?
at that.
Who knew that flat track equals insanity?
We've certainly learned here tonight if we were expecting anything else. So we'll take a look here.
Hey, I'm having a great time.
Oh, it's been an absolute blast up here. You see Freeberger tries getting the launch and just contact there with the 25. Justice Hennigan's trying to come back onto the racetrack and, yeah, right back under yellow. A brutal turn of events.
Let's note here, for our 2 leaders of early, James Murphy in 8th, on the lead lap still, last car on the lead lap, but Dustin Hennigan in 12th, 1 lap down. So a lap separating our early contenders. And I just don't think there's enough time for either of them, and it's such a shame. Obviously, this is really going to hurt the points lead of Hennigan and James Murphy, who was, having a dominant race to that point, gets caught up with lap traffic and really almost took it back on his own as well. You saw it. He waited for Hennigan to kind of get caught up and pulled his move and kind of just got too close to the 13 on the wall, and the 13 was trying to stay off the wall but stay off of the leader. And it was just a really bad position, but it has given the 25 of Braden Avila the lead with only 6 remaining.
Yeah, he's got the advantage over Freeberger, Bass, Kane, everyone working to the high part of the racetrack right now through this lead group. Only 8 cars left on the lead lap. You see Murphy trying to get caught back up here. He's several seconds back, though, with that damage. So only a few left here. Next time by, it'll be 3 laps to go. Braden Avila's got the advantage as Daryl Bass looking to the inside here of Freeberger for second.
Not going to get it done that time. Also want to shout out Nicholas Moley and Cody McDonald sitting 5th and 6th, up 10 and 11 positions from the start of this race, and they're going at it right now for the 5th spot. Great job for the both of them to survive the chaos and gain a handful of positions, as well as Dalton Kane in the 7, sitting in 4th at this time. Now it's Braden Avila with 2 to go. He's going to come back to the white flag. He's been running in the top 5 solidly all evening long. He has been so close to the win here as of recent. He pops out there. He's popping in and out of the session, but he is still alive, still in the session. He finished second to Dustin Hennigan 1 week ago at Lucas Oil, but he wins at Kokomo.
Way to take advantage there if you're the 25 of Braden Avila. He had some good speed, but when it mattered the most, was able to go out there and take the win when he found himself up at the front of this field. Daryl Bass, Dalton Kane scored as your top 3. What happened to our second place runner, I wonder?
35 of Freeberger.
He's being scored in 7th as it stands.
Well, it looks like he tried to throw a slider on the 90 of Bass. Bass gets into the wall, and it kind of makes a free. Bass came over the line in the air.
I'm trying to see if we can get to the...
He ramped up over the 35.
Let's see if we can take a look at this. The replay being a little uncooperative, so you'll have to bear with me real quick.
Oh, I cannot wait till you get to this because I am watching this right now. We need to ride along with the 90 of Daryl Bass.
Why does it keep taking me to the scenic cam is the question. That's what I'm trying to figure out here.
Well, I know we're under the night, so I think it's sending you back to the early heats.
It certainly feels like it is. Let me hit the live shot.
There we go. Now we're back to the night.
There we go. So here's him battling with Freeberger. Slider in 2 is how Bass had that spot initially, I think.
Yeah, well, Daryl Bass has been throwing some close sliders all night, and here it is. They get caught up right here as they come to the line. Daryl Bass, that's what I was saying. That's what I was reacting to. And he still finished second. We got to ride along with him for that. But
Duke's a hazard across the line for the runner-up spot. I mean, he is fully – he could reach up and grab the flag from the flag man there. That is unbelievable.
If only there was a flag for second place, he could have grabbed it. Oh my goodness! And well, Daryl Bass he'd been throwing some close sliders all evening long, so I think Freeberger was gonna, give it right back and throw it close. But I have never seen a run to the line like that for second place.
Yeah, that was
I
absolutely
mean, ever
wild.
really for any position.
No, we'll take one more look at it here. And this Freeberger is about 10 feet from the line and had to reverse over it, and that dropped him from second to seventh. I'm really curious to see what race control is going to deem with that last little bit of contact between
There's
the
a
two.
lot that race control is going to have to look at this evening, I think.
Yeah, no kidding.
You saw it. Drivers were unreserved tonight, and they were absolutely going at it. And that's the beauty of iRacing. These drivers can really, really give it to each other. And there were some questionable moments, but I think some awesome action for us. If there's a highlight of the night, it's that right there. Daryl Bass finishing across the line. I think we got to show that to all of our Vspeed friends because they'll enjoy that finish as well. But we're going to get a quick set of commercials here, a quick break, and we'll get back with the results of our top three, or the interviews of our top three, and the results of the final feature race.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Hope all of you were excited by that stellar finish for second place, but obviously all in front of it all was the 25 of Braden Avila, topping the standings, topping the charts from the race tonight at Kokomo. Then it was Daryl Bass in second, Dalton Kane in third, finishing on the podium. Nicholas Moley gains 11 positions on the evening to finish in fourth. Then Noah Smith, probably the quietest night for really fifth and sixth place. Cody McDonald as well, quietest night of them all. Then Jaden Freeberger getting involved with the 90 of Daryl Bass there right at the line. Comes across in reverse to finish seventh. Then it was your early dominant leader of James Murphy finishing in 8th place. Last car on the lead lap, it was Dusty Lee Jr. and Ethan Patterson rounding out the top 10.
Back half of the field here tonight. Connor Murphy started on the pole, will finish 11th. Dustin Hennigan, two-time winner this season, will not make it a three-peat here tonight at Kokomo. Got tangled up there in lap traffic with Patterson and with James Murphy. He'll finish 12th. McIntyre Jr. will finish 13th here tonight. Julian Shanks 14th. Cameron Stefanski in the 15th position. Kyle Davis will finish 16th, just ahead of Ricky Thompson. Mason Setting will finish 18th here tonight, with Michael Boyd and Kaylor Hogan finishing 20th and 21st. And Landon Falkenberg will round out our field here tonight in the 21st position. And with that, I believe it is time for Scott. I believe it's time to get a word with our race winner here tonight, Braden Avila.
It is time, and we bring in Braden Avila. And Braden, I can't imagine the interview room was too chatty between you and Daryl Bass.
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't. But yeah, we were able to kind of roll around there and third or fourth and save tires there for the beginning part of the race. Just try and keep our car clean, and then had that little bit of contact on the restart. And then yeah, we just kind of got lucky with the leaders tangling and just kind of tried to hang on from there.
What was your opinion in the seat with the contact? Obviously, we could tell by just the position of the car that you were definitely unhappy about the slider.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing we can really do about it, I mean, if he's coming up, he's coming up, but, what are you going to do?
Well, you're the only person now to win besides Dustin Hennigan. It was pretty simple all there to the line. Did you think your first win was going to come by that nature of the first two taking it out? Not to take it away from you, because I think you were going to get a win off of technical raw speed at some point.
Yeah, it definitely isn't the way you want to win, but take them when you can get them, I guess. Finally able to put a full night together, so that's just the big part of it.
Oh, absolutely, and that's what you have to do. You finished second 2 weeks ago, and currently you're fifth in points, but obviously it's going to be a pretty big hit for the top two with Hennigan and Setting. I can't remember if we've talked about it yet, but obviously there's going to be 5 more races before we do crown a champion. How do you bring that fight to guys like Setting and Murphy and Hennigan?
Yeah, you just got to be more consistent, not get caught up in the wrecks and make every feature and finish every race.
Well, there you go, Braden. Anyone you'd like to thank tonight after the win?
Yeah, Infamous Raceworks, Molly Chevrolet. The setup was absolutely fast tonight. So Mad Dog Speed up and Colburn Race Wraps for the wrap.
Well, congratulations, man. It was a good win. You played off some mistakes by the leaders themselves, and you were in the right position at the right time and carried it all the way to the end. Go celebrate this win.
Thank you.
Braden Avila, second winner of the season behind Dustin Hennigan, and I think it was inevitable, Alex, when we were going to see this number 25 in victory lane. But let's bring in second place Daryl Bass, the aforementioned driver who got a little bit of contact with the 25 and winner of Braden Avila.
Hey there, Daryl. This is Alex and Scott up in the Vspeed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'll tell you what, an eventful race from Kokomo tonight, to say the least. I felt like you were right in the thick of it, really, from the drop of the green flag. Started the middle of the field. We're trying to work your way up. What was it like out there? And, what was it like trying to get up to the front here? Because it certainly seemed like a physical race, to say the least.
Man, it's Kokomo. When it's slick like that, you don't have enough momentum for sliders, and it's a lot of park jobs and no mirrors or no spotters. So it makes for kind of elbows up and leaning on people, unfortunately.
Yeah, certainly not a ton of room to rumble, especially in the corners, to your point. Slick track made it tough to throw any sliders here tonight. What was the strategy that you were trying to use to get to the front, knowing that was kind of off the table here tonight?
Just capitalize on restarts. Kind of got messed up on one of them, lost a few spots. We had speed. James was leading the race. and Mason came from the B main from the back and won it. We were on the same setup, all night, race setup. So we brought speed. I just trusted in that, and I was good on the long run. I just needed to get back in my rhythm. Short runs were killing me.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like that was the theme of the night, was a lot of short runs, and then, a short run to run to the end of that race, and ultimately you went Dukes of Hazzard style across the line for the second place finish. Have you ever finished a race here at Kokomo, or really ever? Have you ever finished a race airborne going across the stripe?
No, that was the first, man. I got into Jaden. I tried to throw a slider. I thought he got into the wall and killed some of his momentum, and I was ahead of them guys until a restart when I got put in the fence and fell back to like eighth and was running them down. It gets frustrating sometimes, and probably shouldn't have done it. And then he gave it back to me, which is understandable. I'm not mad about it, and somehow I ended up second. I don't know how that was possible, but he gave me what I gave him, I guess you'd say, and eye for an eye. So I'm not one of those guys that are mad at him about it. What I did wasn't on purpose, but it's just a bad decision at the time,
Certainly the
or
nature of the
or a
beast.
misjudgment. Yeah, I just miscalculated it. Like I said, I thought he got in the wall, and that was my fault. So, but it was funny. I mean, the guys in the Discord were laughing.
I mean, we
I
we
didn't even know
were
I got second.
we were in complete disbelief up here in the booth. If you have a chance to watch this one back, I'm fighting with the replay a little bit to try to pull it up, and Scott's like, "Dude, you have to pull this thing up. It's absolutely wild." And we got there, and sure enough, we got to watch it a couple times. But Daryl, anyone you'd like to shout out here on the runner-up finish tonight?
Just my guys at my shop, man. Twisted Speed. We're less than a year old. Uh, uh, we're one of the shops. We take pride in all our customers get involved in our test sessions. Our builders log into their races and help them. We try to be different than any shop on the sim. Uh, just something I started just to help out guys that are just getting started racing. Um, I think we've got like 340 wins this season alone already. For a 6-month-old shop, I'd say it's pretty good. So mainly those guys working their butts off for me.
Alrighty, well, Daryl, congrats on the runner-up finish here tonight. Exciting finish here, and excited to see what you bring to the table next week at Huset's.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. And y'all just check out Twisted Speed setups right now. Everything season pass wise, 40% off.
Alrighty, you heard it here first. 40% off there with the Twisted Speed shop. Thank you, Daryl Bass. Congrats on the runner-up finish here tonight.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
And with that, that will bring us to our final interview of the night. It'll be the 7 of Dalton Kane, who was able to capitalize on that podium spot there, Scott. Geez, that was a tough sentence.
Yeah. Well, Dalton Kane finishing on the podium, and Dalton, I mean, for a fairly crazy night all throughout the field here at Kokomo, I've got to say, I think you might have been one of the quietest drivers.
Yeah, I got shuffled back early because just nobody knowing how to drive without a mirror. Sorry.
Well, I got to say, I mean, talk to us about your experience through the race, because again, it was very quiet for you. You got pushed to the back. Where to go from there?
Just picked them off as they fell off. They kept wrecking in front of me, just like the ending there. They wrecked in front of me. I just passed them.
Well, I've got to say, this is a good solid performance for you, something that you absolutely needed. How do you continue to roll this momentum with 5 races up and coming?
It's just those first 2 races, trying to find a setup that actually feels good with the way the cars are now, and just now found a good one.
Well, there you go. Hopefully you'll be able to keep finding the next good one. How do you feel about Houston's coming up next week?
Oh, I love that place. Black Slick. We're gonna be set on dig.
Oh, there we go. We'll expect Dalton Kane to be strong at Houston's next week. Dalton, anyone you'd like to thank this evening?
Yeah, CG on the shocks, Jay and Freiberger, and yeah, that's about it. ARC Racing.
Well, there we go. Congratulations on the third place finish, man. Good luck next week. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see ya.
Dalton Kane finishing in the third place. And Alex, I rarely do I not have many questions for drivers, but I mean, of everything that happened tonight, I mean, I don't think any of it happened to Dalton Kane.
No, which in his case, I think is a perfect situation of where you'd like to be, given the way some of these folks' nights went. I mean, it was just a crazy race no matter where you looked. So to have a quiet night, honestly, is probably a blessing in disguise for Dalton Kane, who brings it home in that third spot. But that is just about going to do it here tonight for our coverage from Kokomo Speedway. And I've got to ask, Scott, what was your takeaways from probably the most chaotic race we've had this season?
Well, my takeaway is that this is the first flat track that we went to, and it was the first one that really absolutely went wild. And, you know, I'm a fan of it, obviously, in the booth. It gives us a lot to talk about, brings us a lot of excitement. Race Control has some different opinions, obviously. You need to have good, clean racing. It took us quite a while until we got some green flag action, some green flag laps put in. So it was pretty much caution after caution there for a while. And as a race control, you really don't want that. And you do want fans and drivers to be able to watch some green flag racing. But I think once we got past that early portion, really, we did see some great moments. We still saw some accidents. We still saw some mistakes. But I think we were able to continue on rolling and not let it compound upon itself and bring more and more cautions along. But obviously, I was fully entertained.
Yeah, that makes two of us. What a race it was, man! This was a ton of fun, and I think next week we are going to be having a lot of fun as well, as we'll be heading to Houston Speedway for Week 4 of the Midwest Modified Series. And
we thought Kokomo was small.
Yeah, this place is quite the animal. But you heard Dalton Kane; he was excited for it, and we're going to be mega excited for it as well, because this place is going to be ripping. That's for sure.
You can see it, the dark clay going to be ready and set, and you can see kind of it's a raised apron down there, so you really do not want to make contact. It's almost like if you had a tire, but tires all connected together like here at Kokomo. That's what that little bump there down there is like. You do not want to touch that with your left front. I can tell you, Alex, I think that will be one of the biggest challenges all evening long that we will see drivers getting caught up in.
Yeah, certainly will be a tough one. So if you've enjoyed the coverage here tonight, make sure you to subscribe to Vspeed to continue getting coverage of the Midwest Modified Series presented by P1 Sim Sports. Next week we go to Houston. It's 11:18. Show starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, this has been a blast, Scott. Anything else, or we want to call it here?
No, I think that's all. I enjoyed the battle between James Murphy and as well as Dustin Hennigan. Was sad to see them get taken out early, but I think we'll see them fighting together once again. We've got 5 races remaining. A lot of times for things to sway within the championship standings. Thank you, Alex Gagnon. Excellent analyst, excellent producer. Could not do this without you. We also could not do it without our cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Congratulations to Braden Avila taking the win, second winner in the Midwest Modified Series presented by P1 Sim Sports. My name is Scott Shive. We'll see you next week at Houston's.